Hey everybody, I'm alive! Okay? Thank you so very, very much though for all of your well wishes. I feel much, much better. Thank you. And I hope that all of you are also doing well. We're getting ready to get snowed in here in my area in Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure some of you around America are about ready to do the same, if not, if it hasn't already hit you, but there's a big storm coming our way. So anyways, I would also like to thank my subscribers for their continued support and for liking and sharing this video. And if you're new to my channel and you like this video, you might want to consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. You'll be notified each time I upload something. Okay. Also check out my monthly forecasts and my down in the description box below. There's a link to what we call Ask Me a Question. It's for people who are only interested in maybe one or two things about their chart. And there's also a link there to my website, though, if you would actually like to have your chart done or other services, whatever. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it for now. But you know what, you guys? The same thing is happening again these next 2 weeks. There really aren't that many major aspects going on. Though I know some of you will just skip right to your sign and not listen to the beginning of this video. And I'll be getting emails telling me that I skipped something. You know, I skipped a whole week or whatever. So that's why I always say that, you know, it pays to listen to the beginning of the video, okay? So this forecast is actually for Monday, January 17th through January 30th, Sunday, okay? Only thing happening this week is on Thursday, the 20th, the sun moves into Aquarius. And on Sunday, the 23rd, we have actual aspect, major aspect, okay? The sun in Aquarius conjuncts Mercury in Aquarius, which is retrograde right now. You know what, I'm going to put a link to Mercury Retrograde in this forecast also. I usually just do it in monthlies, but I'll add it here right now for those of you that haven't checked out your monthlies yet, whatever. On Monday, January 24th, Mars moves into Capricorn. On Wednesday, January 26th, Mercury is retrograding back into Capricorn. On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn. And on Sunday the 30th, the sun in Aquarius squares Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so Mercury does go direct on February 3rd and enters Aquarius again on Valentine's Day. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, so we'll get right to it here, you know. So for Thursday, January 20th, for Aries, okay, the sun in Aquarius in your 11th house. I'm sorry. This is Sunday the 23rd. Is that what I said? Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at too many things here. Yeah, on January 23rd. Okay, Sunday, the sun in Aquarius in your 11th house conjuncts Mercury in Aquarius in your 11th house, and it's in retrograde motion. So I would have to say, you know, your 11th house is your most sociable house. Okay, so you could hear from like an old friend, or you could hear like even news about an old friend, or just anything, any kind of news that you pick up at this time, especially while on social media, okay, or out socializing in public with your friends. But this is like your house of friends and associates, and it's where you go to hang out, okay? This is a house of fun, though, too, you know, so you could, like, you know, hear, this is like a great time to hear some kind of gossip, more or less, about a friend, okay, or about something that happened among your friends or a group of people, or possibly something that's going around social media. But because it's retrograde, it could be a repeat of something. It could actually almost be a correction of something, like news that you had heard previously You just assumed, you know, whatever, it was correct or whatever. And now that Mercury is retrograde, you're finding out, you know, little bits and pieces that make you disbelieve whatever it was that you heard, okay? This is kind of backwards for a Mercury retrograde. Usually it's the other way around, where your communications get confused, you know, and you would hear, and it could still possibly happen, you would hear something that is incorrect or far-fetched, really hard to believe, okay, at this time while Mercury is retrograde. And then when it turns direct, everything clears up. Okay, so it's something like that. But either way, you should be really careful in your conversations, especially with your friends, okay, because people are going to assume that you feel one way about someone or something or other when you don't, you know. But they could also take your words and just, I don't know, twist them around in such a way that it makes you, I don't know, sound completely, your message is completely different than whatever it was that you said. Okay. Let's see here. Now, all the way to, the 29th, Saturday the 29th. Okay, we've got Mercury in Capricorn, because remember, Mercury was in Aquarius and is still retrograding backwards, so falls back into Capricorn, right? And it's conjunct Pluto, okay, also in Capricorn, and this is happening in your 10th house of your career and your public life, your social and professional status, how people view and speak about you publicly. So, you know what, if you were like a politician or somebody that was running for an office of some kind or other, okay, you have the ability to really influence an awful lot of people with your words. Okay, that's what Mercury on top of Pluto does. It's either you trying to convince someone, especially, let's say like your boss or your colleagues or anyone that has like some kind of influence or can help you in your career, okay? You could be, you know, like I said, having some kind of really deep conversation with someone in regards to your status or your position or your career, and you're really trying to influence them to sway your way or believe what you are saying or change your mind about something, okay? It's also true in reverse, though. Somebody could be trying to talk you out of making some kind of move in your career, or talk you into adding whatever to your job, you know, your position, adding some kind of new duty or whatever, or taking authority over, or being in charge of something, some kind of big project, or again, a large group of people that maybe you're not even really interested in. You could also at this time, though, hear about a previous position. Someone could contact you about a job that you worked previously, or just one that you were interested in, to see if you're still interested, okay? On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 11th house squares Uranus transiting in your 2nd house of Taurus. Okay, so actually not too bad, you know, it's just a square. It's coming from your 11th house of your friends and whatever, but it's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. You may actually be doing something right now in regards to that, you know, pursuing some kind of goal that you have. Attending even some kind of, it could be like a event of some kind that's just for entertainment, you know, reasons. But you know, it puts a little bit of a strain on your pocketbook. You know, your 2nd house, where you have the planet Uranus, is your house of income. So that you know, you could just be willing to actually dish out for something that you would like to do. Or at this time you could be hit up with a charge of some kind. You could, you know, that you spent money, maybe you used a credit card or something like that, and you're receiving the bill in the mail, but maybe it was not what you expected, or you didn't think that you were being charged for that. Okay, so for, excuse me, for Taurus, okay, on Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 10th house conjuncts Mercury also in Aquarius in your 10th house in a retrograde motion. And your 10th house is your house of your livelihood, what you do for a living, your career. It's your most public house. It's how you're known by reputation, professionally and personally. It looks like people are have an awful lot to say about you. You know, Jupiter was just here all that time, like all last year. So usually when Jupiter's here, you are you move up in some way or other, some kind of promotion or an elevated status, even if it's just personal. Sometimes your new position requires travel. Maybe that's something that's going on here right now. You are traveling. And maybe it is to either learn something about your new position or take some kind of class, or it could be some policy setting things or whatever that every employee has to take in their job, whatever, something like that. Also, if you are a celebrity type person, an interview or pictures or something you've created could be, you know, released on the world right now, you know, and people are actually like talking about it, you know, they're more than likely saying some very, very nice things about it. But you could also be, you know, have a little bit more contact maybe than you would like, okay, with higher ups or colleagues or someone who kind of holds the strings to your future in regards to your career. Even if you're self-employed, this is in regards to like clients or something. And even if you don't work at all, you are still in the public eye because of this Sun conjunct Mercury. And either something you've said is being repeated, or people are inquiring or trying to clear up possibly something that you've said. So it's a really good idea to watch what you say publicly at this time. Be very careful about what you post and how you come off. How you come off in public. Don't come off too cocky. Okay, on Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in retrograde motion. Mercury falls back into Capricorn, right? It conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn in your 9th house. Okay, so this house is many, many things. You know, I would have to say that possibly you learned something new in regards to maybe your new position that you have, or a position that you would like to have as far as career goes. You may or have applied possibly for an opening somewhere to learn something, a job, or some kind of class, even if it's just online. And maybe they were filled at that time. They didn't have room for you, but now somebody could be contacting you to let you know that there is an opening. So you may be offered something like that right now. There's also, because, you know, this house is just like so many things. But because it's conjunct Pluto, okay, I'd have to say your views on religion and spirituality and different cultures, everything, foreigners, has changed gradually over the years, just having Pluto here for as long as it has been. So you may be, you know, learning, let's say, a new culture, their ways, the ways of a new culture, and adopting them to your everyday life. 9th house is like your philosophy on life, period, but on many, many things. This also being the house of higher learning. So you may be actually, I don't know, teaching a class or teaching someone something that you know, or a group of people. So this could be like, you know, like your coworkers, something maybe that you know or knowledge that you have. You are, you know, sharing it with people, okay? Could be coworkers, could be anyone, period. But this is also the house of legal matters. So if you were involved in any kind of legal matter, lawsuit of some kind, or you inquired about something, the legalities of something or other, and maybe you hadn't heard anything about it, this could be around that time where you do. Somebody actually gets back to you possibly about an old case, okay? On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 10th house squares Uranus transiting in your first house of Taurus. So, you know, this has happened before with other planets here, you know, in Aquarius. Just, you know, it's almost like your job in a way. You're having to watch what you say, what you do. You're not really allowed to be your true self, which is what the planet Uranus is doing in your first house. It's bringing out the real you. It's surprising yourself and even other people. So this is one of those times where I think you feel like you have to keep yourself in check. You're possibly around people that won't, you're trying to impress more or less or stay on their good side. So you're not really being your real self. You know, you're not like really being real out there. Okay, you're being careful. Okay, now for Gemini, on Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 9th house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius in your 9th house. Okay, and Mercury is retrograde. This is a big travel house. Okay, so Jupiter was just here. Saturn is still here. But maybe you had plans to do some kind of travel, but you weren't able to do it. A lot of people are stranded, even, you know, from the holidays. I'm pretty sure they're home by now, but there was all kinds of chaos going on with travel as far as air goes, you know, travel by plane. So, but, you know, the opportunity could actually come up. You know, this is also a big communication house, okay? Travel and communication. So you could receive a, let's say, a long-distance phone call, because this is long-distance travel and communications. Or someone could get back to you, return a call that possibly you placed how long ago, or even could be in any way. It doesn't need to be a phone call. It could be text message, regular email, or postal mail. Something like that, you know, or you could have like a conversation right now with someone that to get information that maybe you were trying to learn. This could be in regards to some kind of legal matter. 9th house is also a legal matter. And this is also the house of publishing and media. So you could be doing something, you know, online, on the internet. Maybe you were trying to get something started. You know, this could be one of those days where it actually works. Maybe something you were trying to learn, even if it's like a new, you know, software that maybe you bought, you know, to I don't know, do a website or something like that. This might be the day that it actually clicks, okay? On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your 8th house conjuncts Pluto, also in Capricorn in your 8th house. So Mercury has retrograded back into Capricorn, into your 8th house. So there obviously has been, you know, the Sun's been here, Venus is here, all this stuff is going on in your 8th house of shared resources, things that you own with someone else, a partner. It's the house of passive money. You know, money coming to you through some kind of legal settlement, insurance payout, you know, refunds of some kind. So this is retrograde. So it's hitting on, Mercury's retrograde, so it's hitting on a past issue possibly. You know, maybe you were due money. You wanted to know where it is. Where's my money, right? So, you know, you put out feelers or whatever, inquiries, and now, hopefully, you're hearing back, or you're receiving it. You're actually receiving it. And if that's not the case, you could be hearing about something that is yours. It doesn't even have to be money. It's, you know, this is the house of legacies and inheritances. So it could be something like that, too. Okay? You could also hear, though, about a bill, you know, from a creditor or something that... you thought you had taken care of, or, you know, it just seems to pop up, possibly surprise you. Okay, on Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 9th house squares Uranus transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So, you know, the other planets have been here creating the same aspect, having Uranus in your 12th house of secrets and behind the scenes actions by you or someone else just kind of continues. You may have been, I don't know, you could have been learning something on the side. It could have been like right off the internet, maybe watching YouTube videos, or you just learned something on your own and you're still kind of honing it there, you know, putting the finishing touches on something. You know, you have Jupiter in your 10th house now in Pisces, and this kind of indicates a promotion of some kind. So you could have been actually learning something behind the scenes to put you in a better position for a new position. And it could even be actually like a new language. You know, you guys are the big communicators of the Zodiac, so languages should be, you know, right up there if you don't already know a language other than your own. Okay. For Cancer, on Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 8th house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius in your 8th house in retrograde motion. So 8th house is other people's resources and money, and it's the house of legacies and inheritances, and it's shared debt and with a partner, but it's jointly held property also. This is the house, though, of, well, many things, but it's the house of death and rebirth, regeneration. Jupiter was just here, gave you a lot of opportunities to expand in yourself, like a do-over almost, you know, just, you know, starting over, or building on your strengths, your personality, making it a little bit more like strong, okay? But I do have to say, you know, this being the a money house, it's other people's money and resources, so I would have to say that you are possibly on the receiving end of getting something. You know, Venus is still in Capricorn in your 7th house, and Capricorn's your opposite sign, so it's directly across from your planets, whatever planet or rising sun or whatever you have in Cancer. So Venus is a really nice transit, even in opposition. And I would have to say that somebody's feeling very generous to you, towards you. You're either getting something, if it is money, it's, you know, wonderful, or someone's paying for something of yours. They're paying for one of your bills even, possibly, even if it's just something like a streaming service, or just taking you out to dinner or whatever. Or you're on the receiving end of some kind of gift. Okay, as long as the Venus is in that 7th house, I'd have to say your close relationships are benefiting you in some way or other. In fact, okay, on Saturday, January 29th, Mercury has retrograded back into Capricorn in your 7th house, and it conjuncts Pluto also in Capricorn in your 7th house. So I believe, you know, you've probably had a conversation or two here already with a close friend or business partner or romantic partner, and you've been going back and forth about possibly what you're going to do in regarding possibly one issue in your relationship. And it looks like they're, I don't know, maybe you beat them down or something, you know, but they're giving up. It looks like you have convinced someone to think things your way or go your way, or they are giving you more power or more responsibility or more anything in regards to something that you own with them. So this is the whole back to the 8th house thing. You may be put in charge of someone else's finances even. Okay. On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 8th house squares Uranus transiting in your 11th house of Taurus. So, you know, we're back to your 11th house of friends. Friends and where you would normally go to hang out. It's your group of friends, you know, your associates even. It's also the house of dreams, hopes, and wishes. You may be I don't know, attending some kind of event or wanting to see something live. You know, if you're not going out though, you know, because of the pandemic, which is still pretty bad, there could be possibly something maybe that you attend online. If not, you know, there's you could be on the receiving end of something from a friend, okay? That is like a gift of some kind. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but it could be like an object or something that you've always liked, okay? And, you know, your group of friends, I just want to say, could be maybe possibly a little bit surprised that you are the receiver of this whatever. Even if it's an invitation, somebody that maybe you and all your friends know. None of you maybe know them very well, but you could possibly receive an invitation to do something with this person or attend something or other, and maybe your other friends don't. So, for Leo, on, let's see here, Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 7th house conjuncts Mercury in Aquarius in your 7th house, and it's retrograde, okay? So, you know, this has been active. This house has been active for a while, even with major planets like Jupiter and Saturn here. And actually, Saturn's the only thing here right now. With this Mercury retrograde, I'd have to say that, you know, your 7th house is your close relationships and partnerships. So you more than likely have had some kind of conversation with a close friend, a romantic partner, a business partner, something like that. And looks like whatever you were possibly discussing before is coming back around again with this Mercury retrograde. It's giving you, excuse me, the ability to revisit it again, okay? So maybe you had a discussion or an arrangement or an agreement. It's good. This is also a house of contracts, one of them anyway. And so, you know, you might have agreed to whatever, and you're waiting for all of this to kick in or to actually see it visually done, you know, and maybe whatever you agreed to isn't happening, you know, so you're inquiring or asking them what's going on, you know, what's taking so long, or didn't you understand what it was that I agreed to or what I wanted out of this union, okay? On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury falls back into Capricorn in retrograde motion and conjuncts Pluto. Also in Capricorn, both of these planets are in your 6th house of the workplace, the kind of work you do, your co-workers, work schedule, which is probably really all over the place right now, just having Mercury retrograde here. And on top of Pluto, there's probably people taking turns being in charge or president of the company. We used to do that sometimes, okay? When there was like nobody there, you know, I mean, and you had to like, I don't know, micromanage yourself, right? So something like that, you know, could be happening. And because Mercury is retrograde, this may have been some kind of, I don't know, stupid policy or whatever that your company was talking about implementing like last year, you know, and it never came about. And everybody was like, good, you know, that it was stupid anyways. I would never adhere to it, you know. And maybe now, though, it is being implemented because this is January, the beginning of the year, when a lot of companies make their changes, right? Or it could be pretty much anything, like a work schedule even, or something with a coworker. Maybe you're given a different assignment, and everyone is, or something a little bit different. But these two planets together do bring about the inclination to I don't know, influence people, influence your coworkers, influence a client or a higher up, something like that. You know, you are either doing this or someone is doing this to you. They're trying to get you to change your mind. They're trying to get you to do something. that maybe you don't want to do in regards to the kind of work that you do, or your job, or your schedule, or something. They're really trying to talk you into doing something, okay? So if it isn't work, though, this is also the house of service. And I always say it's usually a 50-50 thing where someone wants you to do a favor. They really need help in some area, and you're the only one that they can get to do it. Not because, you know, you're the only one that knows how to do it. It's probably because they might see you as like a sucker or something, you know, and figure, yeah, I can ask so-and-so, they'll do it for me. But anyways, it could be something like that, where someone is trying to get you to help them in some way. But like I said, it's usually a 50-50 thing where you do something for them and they do something for you, and they're possibly trying to make this kind of arrangement right now. And you're like, you know, you're like not sure, you know, you're saying no, I don't know, or whatever, and they're trying to get you to commit to, excuse me, some kind of, you know, favor that they want you to do for them, and maybe you don't want to do it. Okay, so it's just something to keep in mind. Okay, this is also the house of health. So I would have to say that if you were having some problem in this area, or you were concerned or worried, you know, about your health, with this Mercury retrograde, I'd have to say that whatever it was that was bothering you may have actually just taken care of itself, and it was like no big deal, or you know, you were worrying for nothing. Okay, so I've got to do this before I, sorry. So on Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 7th house squares Uranus, transiting in your 10th house of Taurus. Okay, so we're back to your close relationships and your 10th house of your career, your job, okay? It just, if it is a business arrangement, or even like where, you know, where you currently work, you know, even if you don't work at all, there's still someone trying to possibly get you to, I don't know, do something different as far as your career goes, or, I don't know, change jobs outright, you know, do something completely different. Maybe they don't like whatever it is that you do for a living. Even if you're retired, there's still some way that you have money coming in to live off of, right? Also, though, you know, your 10th house is your most public house, and it's how you are known by reputation professionally and personally. So somebody could be, I don't know, you could find out right now, especially with Mercury being retrograde in your 7th house, that, and the 7th house is also the house of open enemies, okay? Meaning everybody knows you two don't get along, so no big secret there, right? Well, anyways, you could find out that somebody's been, I don't know, spreading rumors about you, or I don't think it's malicious, but they could be like speculating on what the hell you're up to. And you know, people are, if they don't have the information, they just fill in the cracks, like, you know, of what things that are missing. They just fill it in, make it up as they go along, whatever. So it could be a little bit of weird gossip going around about you. Okay, so for Virgo, on Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 6th house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius, in your 6th house in retrograde motion, okay? So the 6th house is the workplace, the kind of work that you do, your work schedule, co-workers, actual physical place where you work, you know? So maybe a lot of you are working from home. There could just be some changes going on here with this Mercury retrograde, changes to your work schedule, changes in company policy, the work itself, how things are done, you know, for like the rest of the year. Just some kind of changes possibly going on there. Could be, you know, change in personnel even. 6th house is also the house of health. This would be like a time where if you weren't very health conscious, you know, you would take up something at this time, especially Mars, after it moves into Capricorn, will be moving into this area. So that'll really give you an awful lot of energy to start something physical at this time. But I have to say that you're already doing something like that right now. And, you know, this could be, because Mercury is retrograde here, a previous job possibly that you used to do. Maybe somebody's contacting you to see if you're available. Could just be something temporary, you know, but maybe someone needs your help in some area or other. On, let's see here, Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your 5th house conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn in your 5th house. Okay, because Mercury retrogrades all the way back into Capricorn, into your 5th house of fun. Okay, fun and creativity and speculation and gambling. Any kind of games or sports or entertainment. And anything like fun. Like, let's say dancing or anything creative like singing or any form of art. Okay, and the big house of romance, right? And children. So maybe you could possibly be hearing from an old flame at this time. Or maybe you saw them, I don't know, over the holidays, or you were in touch with them. A lot of times people just get a card, you know, Christmas card or something like that at that time of year. And they touch base with people again. So maybe this person is, I don't know, blowing into town and they're looking you up. So you may be getting together, let's say, like with an old flame. Or you could be picking up an old creative project that you put on a back burner. Maybe you were writing something and you got writer's block. And now it's, you know, clearing or something like that. And, you know, you're either that or you're starting. You could possibly be starting a new creative project. Okay, on Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 6th house squares Uranus transiting in your 9th house of Taurus. So, you know, we're back to your 6th house and the kind of work that you do. It looks like, you know, your 9th house where you have Taurus, the 9th house is many, many things, but one of the things that falls in this house is higher learning. And having the planet Uranus here does make you a little bit more attracted while this planet is here to like kind of like esoteric subjects or really out there kind of subjects or something different. Want to learn something different, even if you're just reading about it or just watching videos or something or other. But anyway, something that you are possibly have learned, you know, by accident, even just out of curiosity, you know, you have this interest, this new interest or whatever, may benefit you in some way on the job because you know a little bit about a certain subject that would help whatever it is that you do for a living, you know, you and your coworkers. So you may be given a little bit of preference, special preference there because you're more knowledgeable about something, no matter how small it is, than your coworkers are. Okay. So for Libra, on Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 5th house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius in your 5th house, and Mercury is retrograde. So this is the house of romance, creativity, speculation, gambling, fun. It's the house of children, games and sports and entertainment, any form of entertainment. Looks to me like, you know, this being the house of romance and whatever, and Jupiter was just here, so it did open up a lot more opportunities for you to meet new people, bring new people into your life, whether it's for creative reasons or for romantic reasons. But now Saturn is just here by itself, okay? So this is where I always say, you know, it is a little bit of a snore or whatever. You know, sometimes it gets kind of boring, and romance is the last thing on your mind now. You know, you had too much, okay? So anyways, you could, though, hear from an old flame at this time, you know, somebody that, you know, could be from your past, or could have been somebody that you just recently met. You could even receive something like in the regular postal mail, or an email or something like that, a little card or something. Maybe didn't make it to you for the holidays, like a Christmas card, something or other. But you could also, I would, if I were you, I don't know, I'd play the lottery, not a lot. Uh, you know, this conjunction here, Mercury is a timer in astrology. So sometimes, you know, that it kind of helps. Put a little small wager there, you know. Or if none of these things are happening in your life, maybe you're involved in some kind of creative project, and this gets a boost, or you are either starting a new one or reviving an old one, something possibly that you used to do, like for fun. Okay, so on Saturday, January 29th, Mercury falls back into Capricorn already. Okay, so Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house, okay? And it's in retrograde motion again, so we're back to your 4th house of your home and family, the people you live with, your actual physical dwelling and the property surrounding it. There's more than likely some kind of issue that's been going on there on and off. Having Pluto here for as long as it has been has altered or changed your lifestyle in some way or other. This is the house of family, though, too. So it could be just like revisiting an old issue in regards to family or in regards to your home. But this could be like a really good time for you to clear that up while this Mercury is retrograde. In fact, you probably thought you did. You know, you probably thought everybody understood what the hell you were talking about. And you know, there's always going to be somebody that that agrees with you at that moment just to get rid of you. And then they really don't agree with you, you know, so they're still doing whatever it was that they were doing. Like, if it's a roommate, they're still doing whatever, you know, was annoying you or you didn't want them to do. If it's family, you know, same thing, okay? So you set it straight this time, you know, get it to where you want it to be. This is also the house of your past, okay? So again, we're back to hearing from people from your past. You could even hear from someone from your childhood, okay? On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 5th house squares Uranus, transiting in your 8th house of Taurus. So having Uranus in your 8th house of other people's money and resources, and this is why I'm telling you to, you know, play the lottery a little bit. The 8th house is a money house. It's passive money, money coming to you through winnings of some kind, legal settlement, insurance settlement, legacies, inheritances, tax refund, any kind of refund, credit from a bank, credit from a credit card company, anything. But, you know, Uranus is here. So anything, you know, it's up for grabs. So periodically you should probably play the lottery. So I would have to say something like that at this time, maybe, you know, just because there's still planets like in your 4th house of your home, that you are inheriting something that was in your family. It could be property, okay, totally out of the blue, you know, some old rich uncle or aunt or something like that that you never knew about could possibly leave you something, okay? Okay, so for Scorpio, on Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your 4th house conjuncts Mercury also in Aquarius in your 4th house in retrograde motion. Okay, so your 4th house is your family, the people you live with, okay? If it's a roommate, that's one thing, or if it's your family, whatever. Even if you live alone, it's still your family, okay? So they're in this for some reason or other, okay? You have Saturn here. Jupiter was just here, so that was very helpful. It helped you to expand your area, your living area in some way, or add some kind of new addition or whatever. Could be, that addition could be like a new baby even, right? It could be, though, that somebody just kind of plopped themselves on your doorstep. Could be that you are taking care of someone who is ill or unable to take care of themselves, usually a parent or whatever, a relative possibly. Could be a spouse though too, you know. Could be anything, but this Sun conjunct Mercury in the retrograde, maybe you were trying to sell your house, sell your home, or get out of a lease, possibly, at an apartment or wherever it is that you live. You could receive news, though, of some kind. Let's say maybe you were looking to move or looking for a new place. About, let's say, a house maybe you were interested in, but it was taken and somebody bought it already. They outbid you. And you could hear back that, you know, they, I don't know, fell through or something like that. So your offer is still standing. You know, the property is still available. Something like that, okay? The fourth house is also the house of your past. You could be hearing from quite a lot of people from your past, from grade school on up. Okay, grade school and childhood. Okay, on Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your third house conjuncts Pluto also in Capricorn in your third house. Okay, because Mercury retrogrades all the way back into Capricorn. Okay, so third house is ruled by Mercury. So this is huge communication house. Okay, communication and travel. So, you know, just having planets here just means that you're having a little bit more contact with people by phone, in person, a lot more conversations. Third house is also your neighbors, your neighborhood, your siblings, your cousins. Local travel, it's your everyday life and the people you would encounter throughout the normal course of your day. Okay, so you could be, I don't know, you could be able to really influence a lot of people in your neighborhood at this time. Excuse me. Let me take a sip here. Okay, with this Mercury conjunct Pluto, gives you the ability to, your words have an awful big effect on people, and sometimes large groups of people. So we'll have to say, like the neighborhood, or it could be your family. You don't have to come from a huge family, but more than one person, we'll say that. Okay, so you could either say or write something at this time. You're revisiting possibly maybe an issue that occurred in your area, in your neighborhood, you know. Or it could just be something that you post on social media in regards to, let's say, like an old post. You know, maybe you have an update of some kind and you're able to, I don't know, make a correction to something or other. Or somebody, this is also someone possibly trying to influence you, okay, into thinking something or taking some kind of action, even if it's agreeing with them. They want you to agree with them. And it could be a family member, okay. Again, it's a sibling or a cousin, possibly, okay. So on Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your fourth house squares Uranus transiting in your seventh house of Taurus. You know, not like a real big deal. Your seventh house is your relationships, your close relationships, your business, romantic, close friend. Okay, so since this planet has been here, means that maybe you're attracted to a different kind of partner since this planet has been here. Okay, someone a little bit different, more different than what you're used to. And maybe that's what the attraction is, though. It's like not the same old, right? So anyways, a lot of times, you know, maybe your family has a thing or two to say about some kind of relationship you're in. That could be what's going on here right now. Your family, a little bit of interfering in your personal life when it comes to your close relationships. More than likely, probably romantic. Okay. Hey Sagittarius. This is a special shout out to my fave, Sagittarian Bob. Thank you so much for all you do for me. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. So anyways, okay. On Sunday, January 23rd, the Sun in Aquarius in your third house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius, in your third house in retrograde motion. So this is like, you know, third house is big communication and travel house, and we've got Mercury involved here. Mercury is the ruling planet of the third house, and it's in retrograde motion. So what do you think I'm going to say to you? Yeah, you're finally receiving that communication that you were either waiting on, or a piece of mail, you know, or a package or something that was supposed to come in the regular postal mail, or an email that you finally discovered was in your spam folder. You know, it wasn't in the inbox section of your account. You know, anything, or you're having a conversation with someone that you've always wanted to have, or you're finding out information that was, you know, you thought you had all of it, okay? It could be in regards to anything, but you thought you knew the whole story, or you thought you had all the information you needed, and then when Mercury turns retrograde, sometimes you stumble across something that was like pretty important, you know, and it reflected on a decision you made, okay? So a lot of times, you know, stuff comes out at this time, news that you hear, you know, it could even be by accident. But again, you have to be very careful, though, with your own communications because of this placement right now. And Mercury's retrograde in the communication house, the third house. People misunderstand you, even though you think that they do understand you. If you want something done, make sure you're extremely explicit with your instructions. Make sure people clearly understand whatever it is that you're saying. Okay. On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury falls back into Capricorn, okay, in your second house, and conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn, also in your second house of income. So you could have a second shot at, let's say, increasing your income. If it's possibly, it could even be money that was supposed to be yours anyway, you know, but you were waiting on it, finally shows up. One of those, the check is in the mail kind of thing. Well, there it is, finally, right? Or you could be offered a job, or asked to do a job or something that you used to do in the past. And this could actually just be like a hobby that you had, you know, but you were really good at it. And somebody could contact you and ask you to, you know, want to hire you. And, you know, you get to name your fee because, you know, your value is really going up nowadays. So you might want to keep that in mind. Increase your fees. Okay. Also, though, you could, you know, Venus is here too, okay, in your second house. And it does help to attract things that you need, like money, but like luxury items too, or very, very nice things happen, you know. But the second house here is like your main source of income, but it's giving you the ability to have some kind of side job or side hustle, whatever you want to call it. And looks like it's like really paying off. And again, I would also excuse me, play the lottery around this time, because, you know, Mars is will have moved here on the 24th. So by the 29th, it's in there. It's in that second house, and it's really helping. So play the lottery. On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your third house squares Uranus transiting in your sixth house of Taurus. So, you know, we're back to, you know, your sixth house is the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, the workplace, work schedule. It's also your house of health and house of service, you know. But I'm going to go with work here, just because all these planets in Capricorn in your second house of earned income. So there's money in regards to work, okay? Or again, you know, something that you do, you know, that you know, somebody is hiring you for, wanting to either purchase from you or something like, whatever. But anyways, the square from the sun really isn't like, not a very bad thing. You know, somebody, I don't know, could put a little bit of a glitch in whatever kind of plans you had for this day at work that you were going to do. You know, you had set aside time to spend on something that you enjoy doing, you know, and then somebody comes along and interrupts you and wants you to do something, usually some kind of running around for them, grocery shopping or something or other, you know, doing something for someone else. Could be a relative or whatever, but it could be a friend, or you just may end up spending the day like in your car or doing stuff for other people. You know, where that was not how you had planned the day. Okay. So for Capricorn, on Sunday, January 23rd, the sun in Aquarius in your second house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius in your second house. And this is like a really, really good transit. Mercury's retrograde here. So money that was supposed to be yours should be coming in finally. An investment that you made is a while ago even is showing some kind of return or whatever. But you're on the receiving end of money. I would have to say money, or some kind of object, or something that you've always wanted. You know, something that you've wanted to own. Okay. This could also be a new... like a raise, even though a raise really doesn't show up here in your chart right now, but there's an increase in income in some way or other. So I would have to say it's through work. It's through work that you do, or could even be some kind of personal appearance that you're making somewhere. You know, maybe you're, I don't know, signing autographs or doing something or other, but you're bringing in some extra money. On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your first house conjuncts Pluto also in your first house in Capricorn. Because Mercury retrogrades back into Capricorn. That's how far back it goes. So we're revisiting something that you either started or initiated in some way or other. It could be a project, a conversation, some kind of action that you were taking in your life. You know, your first house is your house of self. It's your personality. It's me, me, me. Okay? And, you know, this planet is retrograde, so it's revisiting something that you were either, I don't know, trying to do. Maybe you were trying to learn something, and it just wasn't clicking with you. So try it again. If you try it again, it more than likely will work. Same thing with a conversation, or same thing with some kind of action that you wanted to take, because these two planets together do bring about the ability to influence other people. Okay, with Pluto, it's large groups of people. It doesn't have to be, but you can influence more than one person to think your way, do things your way, change their mind, anything or other. So make sure that whatever it is that you're saying is accurate. You know, that you know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, this could actually be in reverse, though, too. Somebody could be trying to do this to you, but I don't think so. I think you're the one that's trying to influence somebody. Okay, on Sunday, January 30th, the sun in Aquarius in your second house squares Uranus transiting in your fifth house of Taurus. So this isn't like a very bad transit. I don't think, anyways. Okay, you have Uranus in your fifth house of romance and speculation and creativity and fun. It's the house of fun. Okay, parties. Okay, having the planet Uranus here means that your idea of doing all of these things is a little bit different than it used to be. It has changed. Okay, you're attracted to more unusual, esoteric kind of things. Okay, as far as like art goes, you know, and romance. You know, you want something a little different. So maybe you are, you know, because the square is from your sun, the sun in your second house of income, maybe you want to spend money on something, a good time. You want to spend money on a good time, right? And it's not that you can't, it's just that you may have to budget. Or you may want to spend or buy something for, you know, a romantic partner. Show some kind of affection, even if you're just like planning some kind of special night. That's all it is it's in regards to money and a good time. It just looks like you're willing to pay for it, you know. I mean, it was your birthday recently, you know, so maybe, you know, you're treating yourself, right? And possibly someone else. So for Aquarius, on Sunday, January 23rd, the sun in your first house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius, in retrograde motion in your first house. Okay, so we're back to the big communication thing here, okay? So when Mercury's retrograde, you know, you really do have to watch your the way you communicate and make sure that people clearly understand what you're talking about, you know, that they, you know, that especially if you're explaining something that's very detailed, okay? You have to be as detailed as possible. But because this is retrograde, it almost looks like you're finding out that someone didn't understand what the hell you were talking about. They misunderstood you. They just took like the gist of whatever it was that you said and just threw the rest out the window. And they failed to grasp like the, you know, their takeaway from whatever it was that you said was absolutely nothing that you know, it's laughable, okay? So you may have to find that you're repeating yourself. And maybe not even to just one person, maybe to like a couple people. Maybe they all just, I don't know, people tend to assume stuff without asking enough questions. So that's what you should do at this time, is clear up any kind of miscommunication. You're also on the receiving end of quite a few on this day, okay? You could also be, and this is like through conversation, this is any form of communication, email, regular postal mail, phone call, text message, whatever, okay? On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your 12th house conjuncts Pluto, also in Capricorn in your 12th house, and Mercury has retrograded so far back, it fell back into Capricorn, okay? So all of this stuff is going on in your 12th house of secrets, and it looks like you are stumbling across a pretty big secret. You know, it could be by accident, could be that you were all along trying to find out something, and you were digging and snooping and whatever, okay, and you weren't getting anywhere. But when Mercury falls back here, someone could accidentally reveal a secret to you, but they may think that it's something you already know, so it's not considered a secret, right? They may feel that they're talking to you about, you know, a subject that you're already aware of, you know, and you could be kind of like surprised, you know, that whatever. And this could be in regards to anything. It could actually be in regards to family, okay, family member. On Sunday, January 30th, the sun in your first house in Aquarius squares Uranus transiting in your 4th house of Taurus. So we're back to family. Okay, your 4th house is your house of home and family, and the people you live with, like a roommate or whatever, even if you live alone, it is still your family and your past. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is coming up, could be about your childhood, but it could actually be a person. You know, you could find out something really unusual about your childhood or your family at this time. It could, you know, I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but it could be just like kind of surprising. Okay. Maybe you were adopted, right? Okay, so for Pisces, on Sunday, January 23rd, the sun in Aquarius in your 12th house conjuncts Mercury, also in Aquarius in your 12th house in retrograde motion. Okay, so this 12th house is the house of secrets, actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes. It's the house of like dreams, your subconscious mind. It's the house of charitable acts. Um, it is the house of self-undoing. That's what they call the 12th house, okay? Because you could, like, just drive yourself crazy by thinking and overthinking a lot of stuff. Okay, but this conjunction here kind of, I think, brings an aha moment. It could be in regards to, the 12th house is the house of snooping and investigating, trying to find things out. You could learn something at this time that you were trying to find out. It could be about I don't know, possibly something that's going on in your own neighborhood, or it could possibly be something with your group of friends. You could find out something, about a friend, but I think that someone may actually contact you to let you in on a secret it could be about a subject that you already know about, and you and your friend or group of friends, thought something was this way or other in regards to one of your friends possibly. And then with this retrograde Mercury here, I don't know, somebody finds out that something different and they want you to know about it. So you're probably still supposed to keep it a secret, okay? On Saturday, January 29th, Mercury in Capricorn in your 11th house, okay, conjuncts Pluto, also in Capricorn, in your 11th house. And Mercury has retrograded so far back, it fell back into Capricorn. So we're back to your friends again, okay? Mercury conjunct Pluto in your 11th house of friends and your like most sociable house. It's like where you would go to hang out, any kind of organization that you belong to. It's social media, socializing, period. So it looks like somebody, again, these two planets together, somebody's trying to influence your way of thinking, influence how you feel possibly about another friend or a group of friends or an organization that you belong to. Okay, they are trying to change your mind, trying to possibly get you to do something, join an organization that maybe, it's not for you. A little bit of like manipulation possibly going on here. Okay, so keep that in mind when it comes to your friends. That somebody there just might like, I don't know, tell you a bit of gossip that it isn't true. Okay. On Sunday, January 30th, the Sun in Aquarius in your 12th house squares Uranus transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus. So we're back to secrets and whatever again. 3rd house is your house of your everyday life. The people you would encounter and places you would go throughout the normal course of your day. It's your neighbors and neighborhood. It's also siblings and cousins and big communication house. So I would have to say that you could get some kind of communication at this time, whether it's through email, postal mail, something like that, that's a little bit surprising. Could be about anything. Doesn't necessarily have to be about a certain person, but it could be about, like I said, something unexpected, unexpected news of some kind. Neither bad nor good. It's just not what you had expected. So, I hope you enjoyed your astrological forecast for this week and next week. And remember, there's just isn't a lot of stuff going on. Major aspects. We don't do minor aspects or for personal charts if it's absolutely necessary, okay? But anyway, so I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.